artist. Today we're going to be finishing our Silberzweig Inspired Portraits, and to do that we're going to be using a group of colors called analogous colors. We'll learn more about those. So I'm using crayons, but you could use colored pencils as well, or even chalk. Oil pastel would be fine too. So gather your coloring supplies and let's get started. So I have my paper here from the last couple of art times. Last week we added all these patterns using small shapes like triangles or circles. You may have added lines like zigzag. You could have added polka dots. So what you added was up to you. So what we're going to do today when we color, you don't have to match the color that you may have used for your patterns. And you might have drawn that with colored pencil or something too. I'm going to use crayon because I think it'll go a little faster. Colored pencils are fine too, but it's going to probably take you longer. What we're going to try to do today in some of the big places like the cheeks and the face, we're going to try to use something called analogous colors. Now, if you look at a color wheel, and I've got one right here, analogous colors are any three colors or more that are right next to each other on the color wheel. So what we're going to try to do is use groups of analogous colors and blend them in to fill up the areas on our paper. So if I were going to start, this color is green yellow or yellow green, whichever way you want to say it. This is another green that I've got. Oh, this one says yellow green. This one's green yellow. You can see this one's a little more yellow. And maybe I will go to just plain yellow. And on the other side of yellow, I have some orange. So maybe I'll gather an orange just to see if I can do 4. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to start in one part of my paper, and I think maybe I'll do this section right above the eye. And I'm going to start with one color, and just going to start coloring. I'm going to see where this takes me. So I'm going to do a little bit of that green, and then I'll change to this a little bit more yellowy green. I'm going to actually notice I'm coloring right on top of that other, not all of it, but just part of it there. Boy, that almost looks like just yellow, doesn't it? So I might be able to skip the yellow or not do quite as much of the yellow. Now I'm not getting scribbly here. I'm going to try to do my nicest job of coloring. I'm going to see if I can switch now to this orange. So I'm going to remember how I color on top. We're trying to blend those together. So I'm coloring a little bit on top of that yellow. I don't want to cover up all the yellow. And you can see that is going to look really cool. So if I were to just take the orange, if I want to keep going down this cheek, if I look at orange, you can think of the rainbow order if that helps you too. If you think what's next, red, right? So I will go to find myself a red or a red orange. Here we go. I've got red orange. I've got a red over here. And I'm just going to keep going. Let's see, I'm going to make this orange kind of stretch out a little more before I switch. And I'm coloring right over my patterns. If those should get covered up a little too much, you can always go back with a crayon and kind of highlight those a little bit more. All right, now I think I'm ready to switch over to this red orange. I don't want to cover up this yellow. I know it will cover that up, so I'm going to kind of try to color around that for right now. All right, I'm going to put this on fast forward mode just so you can kind of see how I'm going to finish coloring at least this half of the face. And then when I'm done with that, we will talk some more. All right, did you notice what I did there? As I started off going red, but then I was tired of using red, so then I just went backwards on my color wheel, and I went back to orange. And so you can kind of play around going back and forth between your analogous colors. All right, I think on this side, since I did mostly warm colors, I'm going to try to use some cooler colors. So I'll get out my blues, my purples, and I'm going to kind of do the same thing on the other half of my paper, following that same kind of pattern where I switch from cool to warm. So I think I'll start down here with some purple. Okay, I think up here I'm going to do maybe this color because I haven't used it yet. Well, that looks like it will blend nicely with the purple, so I'm going to do okay, so I've got the main part of my face done. Now I'm going to just choose colors that make me feel happy for coloring the smaller places on my paper. When I'm done, this whole paper is going to be filled with color. You can keep blending colors together on the smaller spaces, or if you feel like just using one solid color, that's fine too. So I will show you what this looks like when I'm all done. All right, so I finished my portrait here today, my abstract portrait. So when you're done today, I want you to take a picture of it, show it to me on Seesaw, show it to me on Artsonia. I can't wait to see how you're color blending. If you want to color the white parts of the eyes in too, you certainly can. And I hope you've had fun. Stay creative, and until next time, goodbye.